Hi, I'm Diane Hullett, and welcome to the Best Life, Best Death podcast. I'm very pleased today to be here with Greg Dale from a business called Artful Ashes. And welcome, Greg, and tell us about Artful Ashes.
Well, thank you, Diane. Artful Ashes is a business that we started 10 years ago. I nearly lost my father to a surgery, and we were talking about what do we do if he didn't make it. And thank God he made it through the surgery just fine. But he helped me hatch this amazing idea. He started talking about with cremation ashes, what different options are available. And he brought up being shot into space. He brought up being part of a fireworks display. And I was getting more and more engaged with this discussion. And then he brought up the fact that you can have your ashes turned into concrete blocks and statues. And they're building an underwater reef 3 miles offshore in Miami. And I thought, when I go, I want to be part of an underwater reef. And I thought I want to be a starfish. And so we were just thinking outside of the box of something different. And when we were talking about this, we were both, it's so sad to maybe lose someone, of course, but we were thinking about something that maybe could help you feel better, or maybe a more beautiful option. And so I brought the story back to my friend, and Dave told me that he'd seen they were putting ashes into glass art. And I decided to take this idea to a studio, and the previous owners are Greg and Dale, and my name is Greg Dale. And after 2 minutes, we just laughed and started this amazing business 10 years ago. And what we do is people come from all over the world and visit in person and watch the memorials being made, or we send a package for them to return a tablespoon of ashes for each one. But what we do is we sift someone's ashes very finely, and we touch the hot glass to the ashes and add color and sparkle, and we make beautiful hearts, orbs, and starfish, and just beautiful treasures that are tangible that people can hold and think about the best times with their loved one. And we have on our Artful Ashes Facebook page just thousands of testimonials from clients that say just holding that treasure helps them feel better. And so that's how we got started.
That's
and
such
what we
an
do.
amazing story. Yeah, it's like a story both of what you do and how you got there. And you really came to it through this personal experience. And I think it's so relevant to our kind of our current way of living, because in the past, families members were typically buried in graveyards in places where people lived, and they could visit those. And there was this real contact with this solid headstone or small cross or whatever it was that the family could visit. And here we are in this mobile society that's so different now. And so the idea that a tablespoon of ashes could create this beautiful art piece, and obviously you can create more than one, and everyone can have a piece of this, I think is really beautiful. Do you want to, for those who are listening by audio, I think Greg is going to hold up a couple of pieces. And he's got on the wall behind him is this gorgeous framed starfish piece.
Well, thank you. This is one of my most beautiful treasures. This has the ashes of my mom, and I've got her in my office in a bowl of sand and shells. She loved the beach, and whenever I pick it up or just glance that direction, it helps me smile, and I just always go to the best times.
So beautiful. And Greg's holding up this 5-pointed starfish that's maybe like 6 or 8 inches across, something like that. And it's
about 4 inches across.
Yeah, and it's swirled with like this beautiful white and teal, kind of a midnight blue teal. Gorgeous.
Yeah, the white you see are the thin layer of ashes sealed inside. And then the teal is a beautiful color. And then the silver accenting is called dichroic. It's the same material used on astronauts' visors. And it's just the sparkle next to your ashes. It helps me smile.
Beautiful, beautiful. What's another example?
Thank you.
Starfish, and what other shapes?
Well, this is one of the first hearts we made. And this heart has the ashes of my grandparents, and on the underside is etched "Grandpa and Grandma together forever." And their ashes were in my mom's garage for 20 years. And when I came up with this idea, I asked my mom and her sister and her brother if I could respectfully use those ashes to start our business, and they said absolutely. And it's the same thing. Just all of my fond memories with my grandparents. That's all I think about when I'm holding this beautiful treasure. And for us, everyone that contacts us is very kind, and they're all looking for healing, and they say the same things that I experience. Just holding this in your hand really helps, and so we're just very honored to make a small difference, and sometimes a large difference, all the way up to sometimes even the word closure with our clients.
Say
And
more, Greg,
when
about, because I love this, that you have this beautiful glass studio that's a real working studio. And then you told me that
Yeah.
on Fridays, people come from all over the country or wherever they are to come and be a part of this. Tell us more about how that works.
Yeah, that's really the favorite part of my business, is we invite people to come in from all over the country. We have people that come in from all over the world, and they come to our studio on Whidbey Island, and it's just a journey of healing. And watching glass being made in person is so engaging and so beautiful. And then when we introduce someone's ashes into the piece, it just makes it, in my mind, the invaluable treasure. And uh, I think one of the reasons that it's my favorite is people come in sometimes very, very sad, but just a mixture of emotions. And I got to tell you that over 90% of our clients at some point, they start smiling and giggling, and we start talking about how they met and their favorite experiences. And there's just something about that helps them go to where they want to be. They want to be happy, and they want to heal, and their loved one wants the same thing. There's just something magical about coming in person. And one of my favorite experiences was a woman who lost her husband, and she flew up from California, and she stopped. She just screamed out to everyone, "What is going on here?" She said, "I lost my husband. I'm having the time of my life." And I'll never forget that. Um, and, again, it's just amazing for us to be part of a little healing and sometimes a lot.
Well, I'm struck by this idea that, that ritual and community and these kind of pieces can help us transform our grief, or I don't know, that's kind of a big word. It's not like it happens overnight or that easily, but it gives us a way to be with our grief. And so you really offer this like creative opportunity that then turns into this creative art piece. And you were telling me, tell about well, on your website, you've got an absolutely gorgeous, very short 3-minute video about one of your glass blowers talking about the work, and say a little bit more about your artisans.
Yeah, well, we have 6 artists, and they're all the most amazing, kind people. And one thing that Jesse, I'll mention Minhee in a second, who's our angel, really drives our business. But Jesse is her husband, and we lost Jesse. She lost him to cancer, and it's part of her message that I'll tell you a little more about in just a second. But Jesse, during a viewing about 5 years ago, a client asked him, "What do you feel? How do you feel about making these beautiful memorials?" And he said, "Every artist's dream is to make an impact in someone's life with their art." And he said, when we mix in, um, I'm looking at Jesse's starfish right now, and so
Mm.
it's very tough to lose him. But he just said that It's every artist's dream to make an impact in someone's life. And he said, creating these beautiful treasures, he couldn't imagine anything he'd rather do. And Jesse really helped, along with Minhee, form our business. And we've lost Jesse, and Minhee is our main artist. And the email, the message that I shared with you were her heartfelt feelings about what it means to her to make these beautiful treasures. And she's experienced grief, and she's made memorials with her husband's ashes, and she's made 75,000 treasures to help other people heal. And just one of the most powerful videos I've ever seen was her describing what this means to her. Our website, Artful Ashes, beautiful website. But the Minhee message tab is something I really recommend people considering having something done. You really know the person and what it means to her to make it for you.
That's incredible. I'm just struck by your business from the, the owners and founders through the artists who are working it. There's just this through line of understanding grief and understanding loss and understanding healing. So they just, you all just bring so much to this art. It's just a beautiful story.
Well, thank you very much. We don't fully understand grief and loss, but one thing that we do understand is everyone that contacts us, they want to feel a little better to a lot better. And so it's really the person that does the work on the grief and the recovery. And we just kind of know where they want to go. And if we can place this beautiful treasure in their hands, they do the work. But I really feel that it helps them with that path towards healing.
For sure. And you and I were talking, I just think it's amazing that 75,000 pieces you've created, over that. And we were talking earlier, and you said that there have only been a few ghost sightings. Do you want to say anything about that? I just love that idea, because
Yeah.
imagine all these beings that pass through your building and
Well, yes, we have had 2 ghost visits. And out of 75,000 possibilities, I'm surprised it's only 2. But my wife and Kimmy were standing in the office one day, and there was a gentleman ghost, and they both were looking at each other wide awake. And do you see that ghost? Do you see that ghost? And yes, there was a ghost right there. And Sophia, about 3 months ago, was visited by a young woman who was just standing and watching her work. And so I think they're just checking in on what's happening here. We have another amazing story. We've had 3 mediums. Clients have discussed that 3 mediums have spoken to their loved ones about our glass art. And one of them was a woman who lost her son, and the medium said, I don't know if this makes any sense, but he's saying, get the glass orb and get it in blue. So I don't know how that happens or how that works, but in her mind, it was just absolute proof that her son was communicating to her, and that's really what matters.
and absolutely put a new meaning behind that glasswork that she had. Then she commissioned this piece, and she must have just really felt like it was absolutely right. I love the
Yes.
idea. I mean, I've been kind of doing this Third Thursday, this body disposition podcast for several months now, just because I do think people are looking for, well, number one, what are the options in after death care? And number two, if cremation is still the kind of number one thing that most people in the US are currently choosing, flame cremation, then what do you do with those ashes? Because I know that I am not the only person with some ashes in my house that need a better resting place and really deserve a better resting place and some kind of sense of, as you said, closure and right place, whether it's a pet or a person. I'm sure you do animals as well.
Yeah, yes, we do. About 10% of our businesses are pets, and the one the trend in the U.S. about 20 years ago, half of the folks that we lost were buried, and half of the folks were cremated. And the trend is no, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. 20 years ago, it was about 20% of the folks in the U.S. that were cremated, and now the number is well over 50%. And it's a trend, um, of so many people that I know that are planning their future. They don't want someone to come to a cemetery and and visit them maybe once a year and be sad. They just don't. They don't personally want that. And I think all it does is really make the person who visits sad. And um, and so I'd like to think that this is an option that really helps you feel better, but also it's so convenient with families living all over the country. You can all have a heart or a starfish or an orb or a pendant with your loved one's ashes. Um, and I just I like to think that pretty much all of this is really how the business started, is all of the options available, an urn or being buried. It just I think it perpetuates being sad. And I just like to think that this is really a beautiful but also very convenient option.
Yeah, I like the way you're saying that it is convenient and that's important and it's beautiful and it's almost like a daily touchstone and it can be shared by multiple family members. And you also mentioned that they could be etched. So that's really beautiful too. There's
Yeah,
a way to personalize it.
yeah. We etching is included in the hearts and the orbs and the starfish, and most people kind of assume they should put a formal name and the dates that they were born and the dates that we lost them. And our suggestion is to put a set of angel wings or a heart or a dragonfly or um, something other than dates. We feel that when you turn them over, if you see dates, it takes you to the day you lost them. We'd rather something meaningful. We've etched footballs, and motorcycles, um, and we really recommend a nickname or a first name or my love. We just recommend something that really hopefully helps you smile. And one other piece that I wanted to share uh, is our angel wings pendant, and it's just
Stunning.
a stunning piece of art. It's a clear glass heart-shaped pendant, and the center has 24 karat gold. And we like to think that with a little imagination, your loved one's ashes resemble angel wings, and that's something that you can have with you everywhere. And like you said, like a touchstone. Just whenever you're feeling a little sad, you can reach up and just touch that.
Well, and when I see that, I think it's jewelry potentially. It's kind of a oversized pendant, but it could also be something you hang somewhere. You hang near your desk or you hang, I don't know, in your car if you want to have them driving and have it sort of catch the light as you drive. It's really just a
No,
beautiful hanging
right.
piece.
Well, thank you. No, you're very right. These end up on rearview mirrors, and then they end up on Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
every year, they end up on Christmas trees as well. And then
absolutely.
we have a lot of men who don't want a pendant, but they have us not put the bail attachment in and just keep it in their pocket, a
Oh,
little
I love
touchstone.
that. So it's a little touchstone heart. Oh, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Well, Greg, I'm sure, I mean, I know that there are other people doing this around the country. There are certainly other businesses that have this kind of approach, but I just am really thrilled that someone recommended that I reach out to you. And so this is the one that I heard about and followed through with and went to your website. And just to say that again, your website is artfulashes.com. And you
Correct.
can find
Correct.
out all about Greg and his team's work there and see this gorgeous video about one of the artists' experience of grief and loss and this transformation into art. So is there anything else you'd want to say to audience listeners?
Um, I just, yeah, you're recording, so you can stop this, right? Um, wow. Yeah. I just, uh, uh, have so many thoughts swirling in my mind. I'm looking at the starfish that has Jesse's ashes inside, and I'm really putting myself in the feelings and of a client. Um, it's so sad to have lost him. He helped us form our business, but when I look over at his starfish, um, this helps me center and think of all the great things that he did for us. As sad as I am, helps me heal. And we just be so honored and so blessed to again be part of helping our clients heal.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you for this time and this opportunity.
Thank you, Greg. It's been great chatting with you. And I'm sure that some listeners will head to your website to learn more about Artful Ashes and see what options there are that are just a little different and a little creative. Thanks, Greg.
you you bet. And if I can say one more thing, I'm an old guy. Call me. My number is 206-409-0337.
I love it. And he picks up the phone. It's like so old school. It's awesome. Thanks, Greg. You've been
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Best Life, Best Death podcast, and I'm Diane Hullett. You can find out more about the work I do at bestlifebestdeath.com, and you can find out more about Greg's pieces at artfulashes.com. Thanks so much.